Hello, 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 beautiful souls, and welcome to day 16 of our 21-day self-love challenge. This week, we are talking all about emotions and behaviors. And today, what I want to talk about is presence and how important being present is. First of all, what does it mean to be present? Because that was really what I struggled with, because we're always present. Like, we're always physically here. So what it means is that your mind and your mind, your thoughts, they're present. They're like taking in what is going on around you in this moment and not reminiscing on past occurrences or what's going to be happening in the future. And you see, the thing about looking back at the past is that we have created stories that may or may not be true about the situations that happened. And replaying those, it's not happening right now, normally. And if it is, act in some way to get out of that. But it's the same thing whenever we are stuck in the future, worried about what is to come. Are we going to make it? Like, is everything going to be okay? And it just takes you out of the moment. It makes it so it's incapable, you're incapable to enjoy what's going on around you. I've experienced this in a way that I would plan something fun to do, and all the way leading up to it, I was so excited. Then I would do the fun thing, and while I was doing the fun thing, it was like I wasn't really there. It wasn't as great, as I was hoping it would be, thinking it would be. And then whenever it was over, I look back on it with so much fondness. So it's like the anticipation of the event and then the memory of the event. I was experiencing joy, but whenever I was actually doing the thing that I wanted to do, inside I would feel like weird, like I wasn't really there. Maybe I didn't really want to be there, thinking about where I want to go next, thinking about where I had been. And it was like, why am I doing this, right? So I got really into Eckhart Tolle. I read 2 of his books, A New Earth and The Power of Now, and they both make great logical sense. But actually applying it was a little bit difficult. And then I also watched a bunch of YouTubes. I binged Eckhart Tolle for a year. And it made so much sense, yet in my daily life, it was so incredibly hard to be present. And yeah, it's important, because when we're not present, the only thing that is truly happening, the only time that is actually real, is right here and right now. What you do right now in this moment is going to affect the rest of your moments. And if you're not doing anything in this moment, then that also affects the rest of your moments. And if right now in this moment, all we're doing is dwelling on the past, that's going to affect the rest of your moments. And if you're worrying about the future, that's going to affect the rest of your moments. So, how to become present? It is important to use your senses. Like, Look around you. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you feel? What do you hear? What do you taste? Breathing, grounding into the moment, right here and right now. And once you are in the moment, it's like, is there actually any danger for me right now? Especially if anxiety is your friend, that you would like to, go live somewhere else. This one's really key. And that's what I would find myself in these spirals, like super worried about, if I'm gonna be okay. And like sitting in my yard, there's nothing going on. Like there's just birds, me and the birds and the grass. And I would be like feeling inside like I was in danger. Like there was a lion chasing me or something. So really bringing it back and like, what do I see? 5 things. What do I hear? 4 things. What do I smell? 3 things. What do I taste? 1 thing. What do I feel? 2 things. And then you can ask yourself, am I safe right now? And like 99% of the time, we are actually safe when this happens. When we're dealing with anxiety, normally we are safe. Normally the story that we're telling ourselves that's going to happen, even if it does happen, it's still normally okay. We can get through it. But like for me, it wasn't even like being in a dangerous situation. It was literally like sitting out in the yard, relaxing with the birds, right? We just went over that. And I would feel like a lion was chasing me. So it's like these moments that when we know that we're safe in the mind, but our body is saying, danger. So we can say, hey, like, okay, I'm worried about this thing. Is it affecting me right now? Right? And if it's not affecting right now, then, you can think about, well, is there any action I can take to, better this situation? And that action will happen in the now. And I'll tell you, if you were to do that action before you grounded yourself into the now and told yourself, hey, I know that you are scared and that's okay. However, you're safe right now. If you do that before you do the action, that behavior will be less like chaotic because you're not doing it out of the fear. You're doing it from a grounded place, because it is the action that needs to happen. So, one other thing I really want to talk about with presence is that the only time that we can actually heal is in the present moment. Like, you're gonna heal the past in the present moment. And you can heal your anxiety in the present moment. You can't go back and you can't go forward until it's there, Each moment is a new opportunity to do whatever it is you want to do. So that's why it's so important. It's important to like feel the sensations that are happening in the now. And then you can do that, going in and saying, hey, what is this that I'm feeling? You can let it get bigger, let it belong. You can create a character for it. Find out what that character wants to do. Let it do what it wants to do. And then figure out what is the fear underneath that. What is the need? And then give it that need. And that all happens in the now with the sensation. Now, one thing you can do too is figure out what other times in the past have you felt that sensation and kind of incorporate that into the now. We want to be careful about letting the stories come in, because the emotion is just sensation in your body in this moment. The stories, when they come in, want to blame other people, blame yourself, shame somebody, and that is not helpful. Like, what we need to focus on is the sensation and getting to that need that's inside of you. Anything else, like who did it, what they did, it's like not important for the healing. What's important is you figuring out what that need is, being able to identify that need, and then being able to meet that need. And then everything else falls away. Like, you realize that they've got their own stuff going on that has nothing to do with you. And what you get to do is deal with yourself. Eventually they may not, but that's theirs. This is ours. And then the sensations come up in the moment, and it's the secret sauce, y'all. It's not thinking about what happened 20 years ago and talking about it and bringing up all those emotions. Now, I mean, if you want to bring up those emotions and then do the healing in the moment, that's great. But if you're not doing that healing and you're just talking about it, all you're doing is reliving the past. That may or may not even be true, because our minds they're sneaky little boogers. So the key is focusing on the sensation, separating from the story of it. Just focus on you. Okay? Letting go of the story and focusing on the sensation, feeling the emotion, feeling the sensation, not shunning it, not neglecting it, giving it what it needs. And you would be surprised, like, how the external shifts. Try it. It's so cool. One other thing I want to bring up today about emotions is, like, they're tied to the story. They're tied to the story. So you have excitement and you have anxiety. And they are basically the same emotion. Excitement has a good story attached to it. So they're both looking towards the future, right? So it's not really being present, but these things happen. So you're going on a trip and you're really excited for it, right? That is a positive story. You think the trip's going to be great. Now, let's say you're going on a trip that you don't want to go on and you think it's going to be terrible. You're telling yourself the story of what happened last time you went here and what happened to somebody else when they went there. But you have to go. So you're kind of like, you're telling yourself a bad story about the future, and that's going to create anxiety. However, if you were present, I guess it would be enthusiasm in the now. I don't know. But it's interesting, you know, because we've all experienced excitement and more than likely anxiety. And it is kind of the same feeling. And whenever you're feeling anxiety, one thing that's really, really helped me is saying, what if it all works out? Because when we're in that anxiety, that's what's happening. The story is something bad is going to happen. What if something good happens? What if the bad thing that happened is actually good? So we can reframe these stories, and then the emotions get less uncomfortable with the more positive stories. So that's really, really interesting to me. So today the challenge is to ground yourself. If you're feeling like you are reminiscing in the past, ruminating on old stories, traumas, whatever it may be, or if you're in an anxiety loop and you are aware of it, go outside. If you want, put your feet in the grass. Breathe. Find 5 things you can see. Name them. 4 things you can hear. 3 things you can feel. 2 things you can smell. 1 thing you can taste. And then ask yourself, in this moment, am I in danger? Now, of course, if you're actually in danger, you wouldn't have time to do this, right? You'd be running from the lion. So if you're in real danger, use your fight and flight, because that's what it's for. I venture to guess that most of the time we are in this anxiety loop, it's not actual danger, it's perceived danger based on past experiences or something that we've, absorbed through either TV, socializing, culture, whatever. An example of that is like anytime I'm behind a log truck, I get really like, ah. And the reason is because of watching Final Destination back when it came out. And I realized that even though I do stay back because there is a real danger there, right? But yeah, I know where it comes from too. So that's a good example. Like, you can make a choice to stay back from the truck or past the truck, but not letting that emotion take over your control. Like you're freaking out and can't drive anywhere, crying sort of thing, shaking, palms sweating. You can tell yourself, hey, I'm not in Final Destination right now. I've driven behind many log trucks and never has that happened. It's just something that we saw. Yeah, I think that covers what I wanted to talk about today. It is being present. This is the first time that I've really tried to put words to it, and honestly, I really just learned how to be present myself and still go back and forth. So really, I think it's being aware of whenever we're in the past and in the future, being aware of that, and then being able to call it back to the now. Am I safe in this moment? I am safe in this moment. Okay, well, why am I feeling like I'm being chased by a lion? And that's your opportunity to go in and do that, the meditation. It's inner child work, essentially. That's the power, is that it heals right here, right now. But if we get that sensation and we stay reminiscing in the past or stay worrying in the future, that sensation just gets stronger and it doesn't get healed. And then it comes back and you're like, why does this keep happening to me? And even when you do heal it, it still comes back because apparently we've accumulated a lot of anxiety, depression, whatever. And that's okay too, because the more it comes up, then it clears out, and then the next thing, it's like an onion layer, peeling the layers. And I truly believe too that if we were to have it all peeled off at the same time, I don't know. I think that would be really scary. But yeah, practice grounding. Practice being aware of whenever you are in the past or in the future. Reel it back in. Give yourself this safety in this moment, and then you can make a more informed decision if you actually need to do something. Because sometimes anxiety is like telling you to do something that you need to do, and that's important. So yeah, do some grounding. I'll see you guys tomorrow.